Hello, I'm Beverley, welcome to my show. Today I'm going to show you how to make shortbread. Now shortbread is probably one of the very first biscuits I ever made when I was little, and I made it with my grandma. You need 3 basic ingredients, 4 ideally, and it's a really easy recipe to remember because it's a 3-2-1 recipe. So you need 300 grams of flour, 200 grams of butter, 100 grams of sugar, and you can multiply that up. So if you want to make a double batch, it's 600, 400, 200. Now instead of the 300 grams of flour, what you can do is substitute 100 grams of the flour with 100 grams of corn flour or cornstarch, ground rice or semolina. That will give your shortbread more of a kind of a crumbly texture and a bit more bite. And once you've got your basic shortbread made, then we can go on to flavour it. Now, rules about your shortbread: you've got to use butter. It just won't taste the same without the butter, and you won't get that crumbly texture. Sugar. Now, your butter needs to be at room temperature. If it's straight out of the fridge, it's not going to work. I took this out of the fridge this morning and put it on the side. Now my kitchen's quite warm, I've got an Argus, so I just put it next to the Argus on a plate. Took my dogs out for a walk for an hour, came back, got a shower, got changed. 2 hours later, it's beautifully soft and ready to cream. So use back of a wooden spoon. If you've got an electric mixer, do an electric mixer. I just can't be pestered to go and bring mine down here because it's at the other end of the kitchen. But if I'm doing a big batch, then I would use it, but this really doesn't take long. Drop it off the end of the spoon, done. And into there, just add 200 grams of plain flour and 100 grams of my ground rice. And I'm just going to mix that to a dough. Once I've got my shortbread to form a dough, I've tipped it out onto a sheet of baking parchment, sprinkled with a wee bit of flour. And now I'm going to chop up my pistachios. Now if you've got a food processor handy, then just whiz them very briefly in there. You don't want them into a powder, you want them still chunky. And sprinkle those over the top of the shortbread, leaving a few to one side just in case. You'll see what I mean when I roll it out. Now, to stop adding any extra flour, I've just popped another sheet of baking parchment on the top, and I'm going to roll through there, so I don't want to add any extra flour into my shortbread. Now you see, the reason I've kept some of the pistachios to the side is because as it rolls out, there are gaps at the outside. I'm just going to add those in so that all of the shortbread, when it's cut, actually gets some pistachios in there. Obviously these are not good for anybody who has got a nut allergy. You can press them into a shallow baking tray and cut them like that, and cut them when they come out. Pistachio shortbread isn't great for using cookie cutters because it's got lumps in. Make sure they have a little bit of a gap because they will spread slightly in the oven. So pop those into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. If you've got an Arga, then set the timer for 8 minutes if you've got a roasting oven, and then just check them. You might need to turn them round. If you've got a fan oven, then you need them at around about 160, conventional 170, and for about 10 to 15 minutes. And when they come out, they've spread a wee bit, but they're most gorgeous golden brown pistachio shortbread. And you can sprinkle them a wee bit of sugar if you wish, and then package them up ready to give them as a gift.